All right, y'all. So welcome back. And I do want to say before we jump into these recordings with Miss Gwendolyn E. White, some days you may see me a little bit more peppier. And that's just because I got to do something to distract my mind off a lot of the dark content that I have found in regards to this Gwendolyn E. White case. Now, before I jump into these recordings, I do want to let you know, and I want to make something very, very clear, that this content is being shared for educational and commentary purposes only. And at this time, I cannot verify many of the claims being made by Miss Gwendolyn E. White. And viewers should understand that the allegations and the statements coming directly from her are her perspectives. Now, some of what you are about to hear is emotionally intense. It's disturbing. So viewer discretion is definitely advised. Now, what makes this case so interesting to so many people online is that portions of her story, y'all, appear to be connected with documents, court filings, social media posts, recorded calls, and public records that are already circulating online. Now, whether people believe her or not, there is clearly a much larger story developing behind the scenes. And with this case eventually moving to trial, y'all, I think it's important to hear Gwendolyn's own words directly before the media narratives, courtroom arguments, and public opinion fully shape how people actually see her. Now, again, this is not legal advice by no means. I'm not a lawyer, all right? I ain't even studied law, okay? And this is not a declaration of fact, because I don't know none of these people. And it's not by no means a support of violence of any kind. So this is really just a simple attempt to understand the timelines and the allegations and the mindset surrounding one of the most talked about cases coming out of North Carolina. So y'all buckle in, because this one's a ride, y'all. I'm gonna have to break it up because it's like a 60-minute recording, but I'm gonna put this at the top of each one of them so y'all ain't nobody confused on what's actually happening here. All right, y'all ready? Here we go.
Conversations regarding the Dukewell person showed up around 2. Margaret comes on the porch and tells the gentleman, because he parked like 5 houses this way in front of those townhouses. Excuse me.
Wait, what gentleman are we talking
He's
about?
occupational therapist
Okay,
with Dukewell. So he showed up and he said, I'm not finna get in the midst of this.
Because it was still, the conversation was still going on.
So he turned and he left. And I said, okay, no problem. I said, this is crazy. You're now affecting my mother. The police officers came back. They said, look, you stay on your side, you stay on yours. That's the end of it. I told them, I said, I don't bother nobody. I stay right here in my house. I walk my dog, I take care of my mom, I take my trash out, I go get groceries, I come home. I'm an introvert, unless you mess with me. I document everything, and I move on. Wrote it in my little diary, kept going. A couple days later, they did some more. I parked my car in front of the house. They will park their car right on the tail end of my car.
How close are your, I know you mentioned like
So
16 feet.
so
but how close
I'll show
are
you.
your 2 properties?
So the properties are right next door to each other. And with the properties being right next door to each other,
Oh, and she just, sorry, I got to interrupt you. Your attorney, she is on vacation until 6/3.
6/3.
Yes, so next
week.
Next Monday, I believe.
That's right. So here's a picture. So where the lights are mine.
Okay. So all the way, excuse me.
Yeah, from where this fire hydrant is
to the end of the light
until right where the mulch is.
Okay.
That's my property line.
Okay.
Going this way. Their home is over here. They're saying in one of their documents that me watering my grass is affecting them from going in their house. And I have pictures where I be outside and I'm watering my grass and she walks right in front, turns and takes a picture of me. I can show it to you.
Water your grass.
Yeah, as I'm watering my grass and saying, I'm watering my grass this way. because my handle is like this. I have it in my hand, so I'm directing it.
But
I understand.
Excuse my facial expression, because I'm thinking it's water. Even
It's
if
water. It's water. And everyone has water. So,
sometimes, you know?
yeah. So, if I go all the way back, because in iPhones, it has the dates and times on it, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, in here, I put the dates, like the dates and times of everything that has happened all the way back until last year, so you can actually see it for yourself.
Yeah.
I have pictures, over 1,289 pictures, videos.
What was the last time that you went to court for?
May the 3rd
Of this year?
of this year. So we went November. The DA's office dismissed it, said in court that they want to dismiss it 5 times. February 23rd, they said they were going to dismiss it 4 times. May 2nd, she stood up. She said, Your Honor, I'm okay with dismissing this as we agreed to. The prosecutor. And then she made a formal request to the court to dismiss everything against me. Then the judge took 7 to 15 minutes. The judge went that way. The DA went that way. And then when she came out, the judge said, I would like to hear from the prosecutor. And then she retracted everything. And I'm sitting there saying, in the world. Now.
Do you remember the judge that you had?
Judge Myers.
Okay, so that is the one.
Judge Myers. Now, I will say, the gentleman that hit my car on November 2nd of 2019, his last name is Myers. I don't know if there's a connection, but Myers and Myers, I don't know. I don't know if the judge is family with them. I have no idea. I haven't looked in it. It's just, it popped up and someone asked me, are you aware that the gentleman that hit your car and your judge has the same last name? But the thing of it is John Alua, who was my last attorney. John Alua, I contacted him in November. John Alua said he spoke with Seth Bloom. They said, your case is disposed of. The DA is going to dismiss it. There's nothing to do. So John Alua told me, February 1st, come to my office, pay me the $1,500. I'll walk in court with you, and any legal questions, I take care of it. So he came February the 23rd. The DA, the assistant DA, the DA showed up. You got any Kleenex?
Actually, I think I'm out of it here.
The assistant DA showed up. I just use this. It's okay.
Yeah.
So
Y'all discombobulated.
it's okay. So on February 23rd, the assistant DA was there, Mexican lady. Then the plaintiff's Margaret Paige Feldman was there. Paige Feldman is the same attorney that I had to deal with regarding Roseville. So Paige was there. John Alua was there. Then they called in the actual prosecutor, the actual DA, not the assistant. So all 4 in front of the judge said, we're willing to dismiss everything against Ms. White. The judge said, I want the plaintiffs to come to court. I want to hear from Margaret Villanova, and I want to hear from Ms. White.
Is that who the
Yes.
stalking charge is?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Said, I want to hear from them. So at that particular time, the judge said, I'm going to schedule this. He said, because Margaret has not been in court November, and she didn't come to court on February 23rd. So the judge said, I'm going to set this for May the 3rd, and she better be in court, Ms. White. Then they came up and said, well, Ms. White may not be able to stay in trial because of what's in her Duke My chart. But when I spoke to Maria, I gave Maria the fact that the information in my chart was being removed and that it was fraudulent. The whole thing is, I don't get this. I used to do PHI for a living. I worked for the state of North Carolina, level 96, Secretary of State, revising guidelines regarding PHI for IT, network, telecommunications. Okay, so you're coming after a person that actually did this. You're going after my chart. Why? I went to Washington, D.C. I worked as a HIPAA compliance specialist with the Office of Chief Technology in Washington, D.C. I worked up there. I was a GS-16. So it's not like I don't have this in my background, but for some reason, someone is targeting me. The only way I can connect the dots is I have to connect the dots. Only thing I know is Paige Fountain dealt with the Roseville thing that got dismissed because in court before Judge Damon McCullers, she said Ms. White was set up. So now I'm going back to, which is the audio that I sent you from James Little of Hatch, Little and Blunt, who states you were set up. You can hear it for yourself. So if I'm set up, why am I going through this? James says, please make sure, and he says it in the audio, please make sure you document everything. He also states in there, please get rid of the stuff that's in your Duke My chart.
Which you did.
Which I did. So if I've been set up, the stuff in my chart is fraudulent. Why am I sitting here when I'm sitting here telling you I haven't done anything and all I've done is walked away? These young ladies will walk up to me just like my ears right here. They will swing at my ear. Literally.
Are they still your neighbors?
No, they moved April 18th.
Okay.
Just like if I'm standing here and I'm talking to someone, they will come and swing and I will step back and I said, really? I said, but you know you didn't hit me.
Have you had any other concerns since they moved out?
No, it's been quiet. I don't have trash thrown in my backyard. I don't have anybody knocking on my mother's window. I have the rocks from where they was throwing it at my mother's window and the front door in the car. They lied and said she pulled down a bird house. No, I didn't. I have the little piece of paper. I kept it. And I even got the email from HOA, because before I even went out and I picked up the trash after that storm that day, I emailed HOA and I said, now my property line only goes to where the circle is, in front of my house. From there you have the breezeway, then you have the apron, then you have the street. I said, can I pick up the trash that's in front of my house? She said, yes, we appreciate the fact that you can pick up the trash in front of your house. That's less trash that we have to deal with. She said, plus, Yard Unique won't be there until the next week. So I picked up the trash. My camera is going. Shows me with the broom in hand, the whole 9 yards. I did not pull a bird's nest out of... I can know the difference between a piece of trash and a bird's nest. Now, I didn't do that.
Was it their bird anyway?
They said it was their bird's nest that was in an apron tree. So just like that tree is there and it sits on the apron of the street where the sidewalk is, they put a bird's nest in there. But it's not their property. It's actually the city or Lanier's property. They say they put a bird's nest in there, but they're saying the piece of paper that I got out of the tree, which is a piece of paper, it's a little box. It's almost like, well, did you put it in there purposely to see if I was going to pick up? Because you know that I pick up trash in front of my house. You know that I water the grass in front of my house. So is this one of those little setups? It didn't hit me until later on. You picking up this trash, just leave it. So now I leave the trash. So now HOA has a problem because there's trash, there's dog feces. I said, I'm not picking it up anymore. I'm going to do mine, and that's it. I'm not doing anything else. And I got a conversation with Jacqueline. She said, Miss Gwen, we had no idea.
Is Jacqueline?
Jacqueline's HOA. We had no idea that you were picking up. I said, but I told you I was picking up trash in front of my house because I didn't want. I said,
trash
right. I said, I can show you the audios where people just throw trash down or they don't pick up their dog feces. I said, and I have a miniature toy poodle and I keep my grass low so I can see where she's stepping. I said, the grass in front of my house, I keep it low so I can see where she's stepping. I said, but for some reason, they don't like it. They don't like the fact that I water my grass. They don't like the fact that I water my flowers or I rinse off my doorstep. My dog, which is a toy poodle, I say, shake. When she gets on my porch, she shakes. Why do I want feces, which is going to create an additional for me on my front porch? So I rinse off my front porch every day. But why is it that what I do on my property has anything to do with theirs? There's a video of even Mr. Mike Blackman. Mr. Mike Blackman is an African American that I met at Jack Seafood.
Okay.
He said his son buys furniture stuff. I moved out of a 3,100 square feet house into a 2,100 square feet house. I expressed to him, I got a lawnmower, I got furniture in my garage. Can your son come and look at it? He shows up to my house. Immediately, the neighbor, Margaret, wife, Jessica, comes on the front porch. I'm upstairs. I didn't know that this was going on. I get a phone call from Mr. Blackman. I'm standing on your front porch, but there's a lady asking me, who am I?
Show me the stuff in the garage, show me the stuff in the house. Then when we went out back, they come out back with their phone. Then we went out front, and they come out front. When she came out front, and me and your mom sitting out front, the girl come up there talking about, oh, you hired a hitman. They called me a hitman. I looked at her, started laughing. I said, you done lost your mind. What hitman comes in sandals and a bunch of jewelry on?
That's crazy.
I told her, I said, y'all retarded. Y'all ought to be shaming yourself for messing with these people.
They ought to be.
I told her, I said, if it was my sister name, y'all got y'all ass whooped a long time ago.
You right. I can't beat up no woman, but I damn sure feel a way about it.
I know, man. That shit sad the way they messing with your mom, man.
Well, this is my mama's best friend. It's like my auntie.
Oh, okay. Well, that's sad the way they messing with her, man.
No.
You better be glad I ain't still in Raleigh. I'm down here in Fayetteville working.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I couldn't make it back up, all this stuff going on, because I got responsibilities down here.
No, for sure. I understand. We all got bills to pay.
Yeah. And it's sad, though, the way they doing it, though, man.
No, because she been telling me about it, and I'm just trying to put all the pieces together, and it's just crazy.
And I'm just wondering why somebody just now stepping up trying to say something to help her out.
I got brought into it late, brother. Otherwise, I would have been on it.
I understand. I mean, and I can't believe how her son doing it. I can't believe that.
No, that's crazy. We gonna fix.
He need his ass whooped too.
Bad.
I'm telling you, it's sad, bro. It really is sad.
But
I'm on my way to work. If I get a chance, once I get there and get settled, I'll give you a call back.
All right, man. This is my number. You can call me anytime.
So she comes out of her house and she asks this African American, who is he? We've never seen anybody go in her house. Are you?
Watching so cold.
But you say I'm stalking you. Do you understand where I'm sitting at now?
Yes.
Okay.
I just, not to cut you off.
You didn't understand.
Yes, ma'am. I know that it sounds like before we even work on integrating you or try to integrate you into the program community based, that you need to speak with your attorney, your new one, because it may be finally kicked out this time, because given the log that you have, the information that you already sent me, the pictures,
It's a setup.
And they're gone, so I don't foresee
It's a setup.
this being continuous. But
It's
I'm
gone.
not. That's not my legality.
I know.
My capacity. But what I want to do is, I don't want to start you. I'm gonna confirm that you came in. We had this conversation, but I don't want to start you in a program yet until you meet with your attorney, because I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you to create this schedule, especially taking care of your mom. Create this schedule where you are getting pulled away from that if you're not actually going to.
I can speak clearly. I'm degreed. I can speak. Maria, when I talked to her, I showed her the same information, and I expressed to her, this is what's going on. And also that I have been having the conversation with my pain management, which is Dr. Falula. I said, Dr. Falula, now, granted, I'm an introvert. I don't believe in drama. I believe in just walking away when people do stuff like this. I said, now, most people will want to fight. I said, and most people expect for African American to get out there and fight and look like a fool in the mud. I said, but that's not me. She said, Gwendolyn, you're doing right by just walking away. I said, now, they come up to me They hit at me. They jump on my property. I've had fish oil poured across my front. I've had dog feces put in my flowers. I've come back. I've even seen Jessica creeping behind my bushes. I'm driving up and she's creeping behind because I got a phone call from a neighbor saying, "Did you leave your water on?" I said, "No, I did not." So I pull up and here she goes, creeping behind my bushes.
So you had your water was on at that time?
I don't understand it. Why are y'all playing these games? Now, granted, I'm African American. My skin is not going to change. Only thing I can lay out to the court is what my facts are. If you don't want them and you want to suppress them, why? Don't just take something from someone because their ethnicity is different and believe it and just run with it. People lie on folks all the time. But I have evidence and videos and 11 witnesses that saw what they did. Officer Lassiter told Ellie, she said, we were standing 5 houses down. She came out. I have the picture. She came on. I thought I heard your voice. I'm like, oh, here we go. I said, something's going to happen. Ellie said, what? I said, they keep harassing me, but I don't know why. She said, they're racist. And I said, okay. I said, but I don't bother nobody. She said, go and just stand here with me and let's see what happens. We're standing there. She runs up to me. She swings at my head and stops. I could have hit back. I didn't do nothing. I said, you didn't hit me again. I said, I'm not going to do anything until you actually connect to me. I said, because if I connect to you, then it's on me and not on you. I said, but I think you already know that. That's why you're doing what you're doing, and that's why you don't hit me.
Trying to just antagonize.
So Officer Holbrook, which his name is in here and his phone number is in here, Officer Holbrook said it's called race baiting. They're waiting for you to connect with them. So Officer Holbrook and Officer Reed said go to the master's office. If you look at the DV showcase document that I sent to you, it's documented. If you look at the restraining order, it's documented. Everything that they're doing to me. I'm not doing anything to them.
Is your restraining order current with them?
No,
Okay.
because when we went to court, Judge Eagle threw all of mine out, and the DA, she said, I'm not going to do anything with them. She threw out theirs and said, we're going to come after you. I said, but, so you don't even want to go over what they did to me? No, we're going after you. I said, I looked at Seth Bloom. Seth Bloom on November 17th at approximately 11:38, he said, sign a waiver of counsel. I said, why am I signing a waiver of counsel when you're standing right here and you're my counsel? He said, no, sign this. And I said, but why? So then it was like 22 to 27 minutes later, the DA walked up and she said, I'm throwing out the 2 restraining orders and show calls against those 2 females and we're going after you. And I said, so you don't even want to see the evidence? No, we're going after you. I said, really, Seth? Really? He said, I don't have anything to do with it. I said, so you're not going to...
you signed the waiver?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He told me to sign it.
Yeah, and you had already signed it before he was...
And I done paid your law office almost $15,000. At that time, it was like $13,850. I had paid them on $35.83. And I said, so you're throwing me under the bus right before the judge actually starts the hearing. I said, what am I missing here?